Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first presenter, and we have Katie and Jeff Homan with Heno.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We're really excited to be here, and we're excited to share with you what Jeff and I have been doing over the last couple years. So our company is Heno. We're a medical practice management software solution. So basically what we do is we take all of the processes and procedures and different ways that you go and use your business, and we automate it into one single program. Okay, so that's Heno. My name is Katie Homan. I'm a physical therapist. I've been practicing for 11 years. 8 years ago, I opened my first clinic, and today we're a successful 2-clinic practice in Central Florida. So it didn't come easy. We had a lot of struggles. We made a lot of mistakes. We spent a lot of money on mistakes we made. And so one of the things I wanted to do was try to streamline our practice and make things more efficient, so employees weren't having to spend tons of time on tedious tasks that made the business run and gave us certain information. So this form up here, the daily productivity, is a form that my receptionist would fill out at the end of the day. So she would input all of the information that was used within the clinic, so what patients came in that day, what the insurance payers were, and after an hour, we would finally be able to see what it was that we actually made or lost for that day. So one of the first things we did with Heno is we automated it. So we made it so that it was pretty much instant. So my receptionist at the end of the day could then go in, enter the employees that worked that day, how many hours, and boom, it automatically emailed to Jeff and my phones by the end of the evening. And now, once we had 2 clinics, this was huge. So we were saving 2 hours a day just with this tiny little component of what Heno now does. So we were saving almost $700 a month just with this. So after realizing the potential of what we could do and how we could really streamline things in my practice, I thought, who better to do it with than my partner in crime, this sexy, brilliant man right here.
She don't usually say things like that to me. So I'm Jeff. So Katie and I started talking, okay, let's get Heno going. So a little bit about my background. I left the Air Force in '99 to go to work for Oracle. Probably about a year or so into that, my boss was like, I got a little challenge for you. We want to build this system for 30 users. I was like, okay. So we started to build that system, and as the years went by, we kept adding to it. And then Oracle started making these big acquisitions, PeopleSoft, Siebel, Sun, and we would evaluate, somebody at Oracle would evaluate their systems and be like, and we would end up consuming their systems and bringing that functionality into ours. So kind of like Heno, we started with a little system, and by the time I left Oracle, that system had grown to 50,000 internal users, and every single Oracle support customer interfaces with that system today. So that was a great feeling to be able to do something like that. So to be able to, the thought of doing this with my wife was overwhelming. So I was like, all right, 18 years at Oracle, I'll quit, we'll go try this. So here we are. So what do? I could spend hours on this slide and put everybody to sleep, but I'll just kind of hit the high points. We had paper charts, we automated that, we built an EMR. We had, the billing was paper, somebody would write down the super bill and then go enter into another system, we automated that whole system. We were on Salesforce, we automated that and built our own little Salesforce. And to Heno, that was more targeted towards medical professionals. We were on 3 different fax systems, SimplyCast, eFax, all kinds of faxing, where we were doing our marketing, our inbound and our outbound. We turned that around and built all of that into Heno as well. We also do the whole 837p transactions and pretty much everything you need to run your practice from right in a single web browser, built on Oracle technology. So is there competition? There is a lot of competition. A lot of them started though kind of similar to us with like a small piece and then stayed that small piece and then bolted things on. We kind of knew from the outgo we were going to start with a solid core platform, build everything in our platform and scale from there. A lot of these companies, they are huge, they are big, but again, it's a multiple system configuration where one has your EMR and then it ties to a back-end piece that does your billing and the EDIs and all that stuff. Why physical therapy? Well, one, she's a physical therapist, and that was our business, so we knew that very well. And the market size was actually, as we were going through Starter Studio, we learned that the market size in physical therapy was actually really good, and the growth potential is huge, because a lot of people are seeking alternatives to injections and things like that. So physical therapy is slated to grow above average at 34%, occupational at 28%, and speech at 30%. Now, Heno is targeted towards these pieces for the EMR component, but we built it back in generically. So up here you can see psychiatrists. They're also slated to grow at 15%, but they're a much smaller market. But just for the heck of it, we ended up onboarding a psychiatry group onto Heno as well, and they're happy so far. And we've also onboarded a cryotherapy clinic too. Our business model, we are charging $150 a month per therapist. The rest of the users in the office are free. We also have a charge a one-time onboarding fee between $200,000 and $10,000 an hour, that'd be nice. $210,000 one-time setup fee. So far, we've only charged the $200, and what that is I take the data from whatever system you're coming from, I bring it in, we do the training, set up the account. We also plan to someday offer a white glove service where we're flying on site, training your staff, doing whatever you need us to do, make sure you're comfortable with your onboarding experience to Heno, washing cars, taking kids to school, happy hour, whatever we need to do. And we also have two add-ons, a marketing add-on and a sales add-on at $50 a month per customer. So far, all of our customers have opted for those options. Cash flow. So what I've done here is that first number, that's based on how many users are currently on the system. At the end of February, we ended at 23 users on the system. If you were to annualize that, that would actually give us a profit of $23,000. So we're actually in the black and we have no burn rate. And actually have $6,000 in the bank. Going forward, we are projecting a very modest 2017. I want to make sure the technology stack is tight and where it really needs to be. As we move into 2018, we're going to start scaling quite a little bit more, and then by the time 2022 rolls around, based on what our competition has done and similar issues to us, we're planning on going parabolic by then.
So as far as what traction we've had so far, so it was a blessing to us to be able to get into Starter Studio. That really helped us to be able to test the market and validate the product that we were using already in my clinics. By the end of Starter Studio, we had our beta testers started and running, and by January, that's when we started launching live customers. So 50% of our current customer base is actually from word-of-mouth referral from customers that we had before that. So that's been a huge traction for us. We also just hired a salesperson, and he's going to start on Monday, so we're very excited to really start pushing sales more and more. We also right now, so Jeff said the end of February, how many users we had? 23. Now we have about 27, and I actually have 27 more in the pipeline ready to go, itching to get on. So our market strategy. So from being a therapist for 11 years, I have a ton of different industry connections that I've kept in touch with over the years and stay very close with. That's how we got our first customer base and got them involved in Heno. We also want to be able to give this product away for free to colleges so that they can train their staff or their students in how to use a program like this. So when they come out into the workforce, they are able to already know how to use it and really run with it. Also, basing off of our current user referrals, the amount that we're just getting from word of mouth has been unreal. We didn't really expect that, but that's been really going well. And then our next big push is going to be sales. So I haven't done really much sales up until now. It's pretty much all been my current connections and friends of them and different people that they know. So what do we want to do with the money if we win? So we want to put the majority of it towards sales. That's what we want to do. We really need to start pushing sales and really driving this into owners' laps so that they're able to see what Heno can offer to their clinics. We also are really excited about getting into a second stage accelerator. We feel like the mentorship and everything that we've gained out of Starter Studio has really benefited us and helped us get to where we are today. So we think that a second stage would be even better. So to summarize everything tonight, so you can either choose a competitor and piecemeal different systems together that are fragmented and complete your system in your office to be able to run it, but it's confusing and you're on multiple platforms, or you can choose something like Heno. Now, the typical practice in the US is about 4 therapists. So not only is Heno saving a ton of money per month on that same size practice, but we're also saving countless dollars in efficiency and productivity of your employees. So that's my contact if anyone has any questions, and then thank you very much. Yes.
Sales cycle look like with a therapist that you don't already have a relationship with? How many visits does it take? Oh, thank you. What's the sales cycle look like? How many visits does it take? How long does it take? How many decision makers are in the process?
We have never visited anybody. All of our customers are from Maryland to Hawaii. A couple that she's onboarded that were word of mouth. Jennifer, they were from, what do you usually, she usually spends about two or three demos and then a couple follow-up phone calls and a few emails, and they usually come around.
To be quite honest, a lot of times it's not necessarily the owner of the clinic that comes on board. It's usually the office manager or someone that oversees all of the processes, and they present it to the owner. So I've actually had a few customers that the owner doesn't even see it until they're on it. So
you've got a sales, I'm sorry.
I know it's an Oracle-based system, but what hardware platform, or how does it, is it cloud-based, or what hardware equipment does it take to run it?
Yeah, it's cloud-based right now. It's hosted by Atlantic.net. Everything is inside an Oracle database. The UI is built with Oracle Applications Express, which is a rapid application development tool, so I can really build stuff fast. And even all the uploads, even the files, everything is contained in the database. And then, I don't know if you noticed on my financials, but my hosting cost is going to go down. I'm actually going to be moving it into Oracle's cloud, and they're aggressively pricing their solutions pretty good. So it'll all be contained with Oracle.
Great.
So real quick, you talked about sales in a vague way, so you don't have a lot of onboarding your customers and so forth, but how do you get to them? I get the impression, I understand your relationships and so forth, but to get to the kinds of numbers you started talking about, there's a distance between who you know and who you're going to have to know. To go out and touch every potential customer with a sales team, even if you did it by phone, is going to get time. Is going to be time consuming and so forth. So you got through some early sales. What's the real go-to-market strategy? I mean, it's got to be more to it than just we're going to hire a salesperson and hopefully they're going to do well.
So even just in Orlando, once a year, they have a private practice convention that has tens of thousands of private practice owners. So I think going to conventions is going to be a big thing as far as just getting our name out there so that they're able to see other solutions. Also, I mean, I guess doing some marketing on the internet and doing all of.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. She's being very modest. Like she'll just for the heck of it Facebook message a clinic and be like, hey, do you want to do a demo? And a lot of times they do. We stumbled into this because of the conferences we go to. We talk to the people, and the first thing they say is not what's a new PT technique. It's like, what software are you using? And this is way before Heno. So we had a feeling there was a real need out there. So just by her doing that limited targeting and getting a handful of customers, we're just going to multiply that out and plan on growing that way.
Your thought process, I mean, your presentation was well done, and your thought process, I get it, but to get to the numbers you want to get to, spend more time, particularly if you're going to go out and raise serious money, spend more time understanding a marketing strategy and trying to be different than whatever else is out there. Whatever it might have been your sort of your traditional way you saw at Oracle or whatever, those are great things, and Oracle can do well at that. Because they have the resources to do it. You're not going to have all those kinds of things. So think a little bit from that perspective of how you might want to go at it.
Go ahead.
First of all, congrats on turning a profit that quickly. That's awesome. But just on the financials, just so that I understand what we're looking at, I just wanted to make sure, because it was February 17, and then Q2, and then Q4.
Yeah, I had a hard time.
Is that specific to that quarter, or is it cumulative through that period of time? Yeah, just help me understand. We're doing 42,000 in revenue in
Yeah.
February. Can I look at that and say that that's a $500,000 run rate, because it's 42 times 12 as of February? I just want to know what I'm looking at, because then Q4 is 186. Is that 186 for the 3 months in Q4, or is that 186 through Q4? Just help me to understand what I'm looking at.
So what I probably needed is another column up there. Each one of those is basically a target date. When we hit that date, that's how many users we want to have on the system. And if we had that many users on the system, those are the numbers annualized. So, yes, I had run rate up there. I didn't know if that was confusing. So.
Right, it's a monthly. Is that the monthly number?
Oh, no, that'd be nice. That's yearly.
Okay, all right, yeah, I just wanted to clarify, because it
Yeah, so if we had 100 users on the system, it'd be a $91,000 a year profit for the whole year.
Okay, good. And just so that we, as judges here, know as well, are you raising money? And if so, what are you looking for?
We haven't started, go ahead. This is our first time really doing something like this other than Starter Studio. We definitely want to use this money towards taking the pressure off of paying our new employee that starts Monday, our hosting costs, and then just from there, we're going to need money to grow sales. And she's the physical therapist, I'm the software engineer, so that's the area we're going to have to invest in to get that expertise to kind of add that skill to our team. Yeah, and our new guy starts Monday.
That's good.
So congrats on this. You know, we love software businesses that are built by actual practitioners. So someone who understands the problem set, and then someone who builds a software around a problem set known by, for lack of a better term, a non-technologist, somebody who's using it. So in SaaS businesses in general, and software businesses in general, there's this dichotomy between the price point of what you're selling and how you're able to sell it. So at your price point, you can't hire a bunch of salespeople. It's not possible. I'm just telling you, you do the math on the guy you hire, think about how much he has to sell to create that revenue that you need. Just to cover his salary won't work. You can't, so there are two choices you have. Increase your price point. I don't know this market, so I can't tell you whether that's right or not. Or really figure out a way to sell with the minimum amount of sales costs possible that normally excludes salespeople. Meaning, you go to conferences, it's self-serve off the web, it's through other channels, it's those types of things. But if the idea is to bring on a whole bunch of salespeople, what you guys will quickly figure out via math, doesn't work. Can't possibly work. And when you scale to that number right there, if a salesperson is touching even a quick call or 2 calls or a demo, you can't hit that number with salespeople. Your expenses will be so much higher than what you have there. So to Richard's point, you've got to think about channels to market that are super, super cheap. Because your product, I'm sure it's a great product, the price point is really low, right? I mean, really, really low. And so either you've got to fix that price point, or you've got to figure out how to get to market with a less costly way.
Yeah, and the $150 per seat, I mean, you might run into a clinic that has 4 or 5, 6 seats. I mean, we were paying about $1,000 a month based on that model for what we had at our clinics. So that's going to help, and then a lot of the software review sites. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the number we normally use internally when we look at deals is somewhere between $80,000 or $100,000 a year. So average price point to customer, $80,000 to $100,000 to have a sales force, to have a direct sales force. If you're selling people for $40,000 a year, can't have a direct sales force. The math won't work. So.
You mentioned there's a lot of competition in the market. Is there any single player that has a big market share, or is it very fragmented right now?
It's fragmented, but there's one in particular that has a huge amount of market share. They're not an all-in-one solution. They bolt on to other ones They recently acquired somebody where they're trying to come up with an all-in-one solution. And interesting enough, they're probably about a $40 million company, started the way Katie and I did about back in 2008. So we're starting out the gate with the complete solution, and I think we have a competitive edge there.
Hi. Are both of you guys full-time, and the new salesperson that's joining, are they pure salary? Are they getting equity or options?
He's pure salary. He starts on Monday. I'm 100% full-time with this. And then Katie's probably about 50% this and then 50% running her clinics.
Got for Oracle stock over the last 8
It still helped the 401k.